that doesn't mind about people getting on top of you.
Select your heroes.
Conquer is definitely one of them. Helps kind of deal with the push as well. Coming out from the Beastmaster, you're not really going to address again the Pangolier, but you're somehow hoping that it's Puppey and Bloodseeker can do that. So yeah, you're looking just to be a body and get involved early here for Secret. So yeah, I don't mind the pick. We'll see if it's going to be able to help out. We were both kind of favoring Spirit's lineup even before we saw the last phase. Do we think anything has changed?
Well, I think Team Secret are just banking on the fact that they are hoping to try and dominate these lanes, right? Enigma, such a strong laner. Bane, Bloodseeker, really easy setup for a lot of these kill attempts. Yeah, you will have the boar, I suppose, on Collapse to be able to break the Nightmare so that maybe that isn't as big of an issue. But we know that Spectre's a weak lane, and it's probably going to be it's Spectre Silencer, but there's going to be a double melee lane somewhere for Team Spirit. So I think if Secret are going to have any chance, they need to crush these lanes. Not just win, they need to crush the lanes to give them the tempo that they need to be able to find that extra item and be able to invade onto the backlines, take out the Silencer, and hopefully use that to win the game.
Well, it seems like it's kind of a similar recipe to what we saw in Game 1, where we feel like Secret, they have a draft that is going to be enabled through the early stages, but if we get to the late game where Spirit's lineup is able to get the items and the levels as well, then we've got big concerns. So you said kind of they have to just win the lanes and go from there. Is there any lane in particular? Good one. They need to win all of them.
I think they've got the tools to win every single lane. Don't get me wrong. Okay. But Team Spirit are a very, very talented team, so they're not going to make it easy. I mean, you've got a Kunkka who wins most of his lanes, right? But he's up against a Pangolier, a Toronto-Tokyo Pangolier as well. Something that he's super exceptional on in terms of his individual performances coming through. I think whatever lane Yatoro goes into, honestly, Collapse might even be the bigger issue. You're just worried about making sure that you're dumpstering him so that he's not able to get that farm, so that you're able to pick him off nice and early, so that he doesn't have the blink dagger to enable those quick pickoffs, right, onto the Bane, onto the Enigma. So I think probably just a little bit more emphasis being given over to shutting down the Team Spirit side lanes.
Like both sides, Spirit, Secret should be able to get this D ward. The smoke from the position 5s, and yeah, Puppey's going to get his D ward. I might actually deny his own. It's going to be the case. So I will further on to the point of what I think Secret are able to do successfully. I think what their lineup can thrive on is that they do have a lot of pickup potential, and if they get towers early on off the back of catapult timings, it can be a bit awkward for Spirit to play the map. You've got Clockwork that can set up on a side lane. You've got a Bane that can set up as well. And we've seen what Nisha's Conquer can do. Like, he is, I really think, one of the best Conquers out there. So if they can get kills across the map and get a lot of pickoffs, it can be a bit awkward for Spirit to play the early game. But that, again, is all set up off the back of how the lanes go.
He has to be a little bit careful here. They don't have the summons just yet to be able to deal with it. They don't have the battery assault, though.
Just run past the blood right and then turn back around as soon as it expires. Like, all right, we can maybe do some damage now, but very similar to what we saw in Game 1, Miposhka just getting chased from the Puppey man.
How long he wants to stick around here. Obviously, you don't want to be going all the way back to base. You want to try and get back to the lane as quickly as possible. TP, I mean, it's not the strongest lane, again, for Spirit on the bottom side. There's nothing stopping him from TPing away, but again, it's just about this divide and conquer strategy, right? You want this to happen. You want a 1v1 between the Beastmaster and the Bloodseeker for the bottom side. So Miposhka's doing his job. I think Puppey needs to get back to lane.
What is this? Oh god, Puppey's gonna stay on the high ground. Like, no, you're not going anywhere, sir.
He's not going to get level 2 anytime soon on Puppey, so that Nightmare's not going to be as big of an issue. Sends a courier there.
There's a minute of this.
The most intense gameplay I've ever seen.
Let's see some predictions. How long?
Hold on one second. There's stuff happening mid lane. Toronto-Tokyo is already getting pushed underneath his own tower again. Nisha doing a great job there. I think they're going to be able to pick this one up. Has he got the brain sap up in another 10 seconds? He does, and he's used 5 tangos already on Miposhka. This is pretty big for Puppey.
I don't know how many brought out, but he's definitely used a lot. But all right, Miposhka has entered the lane. A minute 30 in. Meanwhile, collapses. Oh, with the boat, collapse gonna go down actually. Oh no, Maposka giving bonus movement speed to Chrysalis gets first blood.
First blood.
What a very
shall not
interesting
thirst for
start to this
long.
game too.
Actually, I didn't even think about that. You know, the thirst coming through, just allowing him that little bit of extra damage, the ability to dominate the lane. In the end, very nicely done by Puppy. Shows what I know.
Now we can look at the lanes. Now we can get ourselves set up. 2 minutes in, we can see how everything's shaping up at the moment. It looks like Nisha with the battle against Toronto Tokyo. Relatively nice start for Nisha. To be expected, the Conkers are much better later than the Pango, but Toronto Tokyo will do well and truly okay in this lane.
Got to make sure they keep
back to his
securing the water
shenanigans.
runes as well. For Toronto Tokyo as well, right? Kunkka, not one of those heroes that relies on the mana, being able to effectively harass and get the arm in the lane. Pango, completely the opposite. Shield crash and the swashbuckle as much as possible, and even with those, the Nisha already doing such a great job of bullying Toronto Tokyo out of this lane. I mean, not mission accomplished just yet, but nearly 3 minutes in, we've got 2 lanes going very favorably for Team Secret.
It's all going to come down to the torrents from Nisha. He can clip some of the short ones without using the X, continuing to put a lot of harassment into Toronto Tokyo early, making sure it's very difficult to last hit under the tower. Just a couple here for the Pangolier.
It's the range creep though. I mean, Nisha just playing around with the tower aggro most importantly, right? Making sure to use the Tidebringer for it. Not too many right clicks on the Pango under the tower, enabling him to stay in the lane just that little bit longer, and it's actually forced Toronto Tokyo all the way back to be able to pick up the bounty rune just to get back to the lane. I'm not sure how effective the magic stick's going to be again against the Kunkka for the laning stage, but he just feels like he might need to make a few rotations, perhaps around the power rune coming up in about 25 seconds. So will he get some assistance perhaps, or will he die?
Guess it's going to come down to how the creep equilibrium set up in some of the side lanes.
My heart.
The carries and off laners are in a position where they'll be okay. It's actually top lane resolution. With the help of Zayats, he's able to get a kill. So we've seen a couple of recent games here from Secret that they've kind of swapped up the lanes with Puppy, you know, playing up top with Resolution, and Zayats playing down bottom with Crystallis. And we see this time it's back to the natural setup, already enabling this good start that Resolution's having.
The phase boots now completed as well for Chrysalis, so with how well these lanes are going, it's really going to enable the Bloodseeker to perhaps put even more pressure in onto Collapse. Right now, got the wave pushing under the tower, so not as much of that kill threat, but going to be a scary spot to be in with Maposhka. Going for a bit of a gank attempt here, but you always have to be careful into a Vayne lane. I mean, the Vayne and the Bloodseeker so effectively able to trade, especially against, again, this dual melee lineup.
Oh no.
It just seems like really both side lanes are very similar. Secret, they're looking to try and spam out to bring down the boars, and then for Spirit, they're doing the same thing top. The dagger, 2 points in it, Mirror as well with the arcane curse as well. Enough damage thanks to the kind of change to the items, reducing a lot of the magic resistance.
And just dominating. He is 900 net worth ahead of Pango 5 minutes into this game. That is how well Nisha is playing this one. He is absolutely dominating. He's nearly got his level 6 at 5 minutes. That's some crazy timing. Very few CS missed out on. He's going to look to get the Observer Ward planted if he can around just before this power rune timing, so that he can look to deny it away from Toronto Tokyo and maybe even enable some sort of movement towards this lane if he gets that solo pick off.
They might need that extra stun from Zayats. See Toronto Tokyo instantly starting to play his distance here. Poppy just going down 2 points in the battery cell from Maposhka. Feeling like he has an opening to try and clean the damage because of solo. And almost is enough damage.
Good though. He's got the siege creep in the lane, looking to play around that bottom tower rune and hoping that luck's on his side. He's going to need a little bit of the Gaben RNG to be able to secure it, and he doesn't. He even commits with the shield crash, so a little bit of danger here. Not wanting to commit the both just yet. On point is Nisha. Still just can't come back into this lane, right?
Radiant's
What's to
middle
do
tower
against this?
is under attack.
Running out on mana because you didn't secure the rune. At least you've got the bounty to play with. He looks to...
Precious bounty.
Can't even make a rotation until you're level 6.
So I think the angle for Toronto Tokyo is going to be just try and soak up your level 6. You're not too worried about this mid lane tower going down without a catapult. So once you get your Rolling Thunder, then look to make a play on the side lane. Bottom lane, Poshka trying to kill off Puppy. The Nightmare's going to be able to set up for the Blood Ride. In fact, he doesn't have enough mana for it. He'll be relying on the good old right clicks, but the Cox can put himself in an awkward position in Crystallis. Still, he's got the movement speed to try and catch up. One more right click will do the job. He'll even get a Corey for good measure as well.
Game. Puppy a little bit short on the mana as well. Otherwise, they could have potentially gone for this kill onto Collapse. But again, it's going quite well. Surprisingly enough, top side, the first death on Team Secret goes to Reza. He's always renowned for having that super strong start to the game, and they might be able to get another easy pick off here onto Mira. Accelerate that net worth now on Nisha, arming up multiple camps at once. Someone that's an absolute expert, even picking up some of those power runes. Didn't even need to use the boat for that, so Yatoro not getting his farm from the lane, has to stay up into the trees. Good job so far as he looks to commit the black hole, and yep.
That he will. Zayat's going to hold the stun, trying to use the perfect chain control, and that'll enable them to ramp up the damage required with all the Eidolons. Beautifully done from Secret. They didn't even need the rotation from Nisha.
The happiest one about all of this is Toronto Tokyo. Pushes the lane in. He soaks up that farm. He's level 6. He's even potentially going to be able to secure that double damage rune for himself, which you just cannot give up to Nisha. He's got too much of a net worth lead. Will he look to use the torrent to get interrupted? No way. No way. No way.
Oh, he got it. Okay, let's see. Toronto Tokyo's going to try and make the attempt with the Rolling Thunder. They can use the buff defensive with the run buff. Let's see if Nisha's going to be survivable. TP is coming out. In fact, Nisha might look to turn it around to Maposhka. Threatening the Clockwork's life, but they will back off, so a couple ultimates expended along with some rotations out of the support.
Oh man, if he got that, if he got that DD rune and it was able to turn that around.
Woo. Bottom lane, Collapse might need some trouble here. Trying to use the micro to hold back Crystallis, but Poppy with the Nightmare will enable the Blood Seeker to close the distance. Juking has to occur. Collapse is going to be able to stay alive. He's going to run to the Poshka. Acting as the bodyguard, Crystallis goes a long way around. Tries to go, but he doesn't. Oh no, Collapse chucks out an axis. They've got your Taurus on. No way, Collapse doesn't die. Still in the lane he goes. They need a little bit of engage. One more right click will do it. Collapse will turn destroys ground. They don't get the
he gets a 6.
And now we got the roll from the experience for this. Oh no, what just happened?
Oh, Collapse just happened. That's what, I mean, that is the most demoralizing thing that you can imagine. Even the Haunt there, just to provide that little bit of extra damage output, get him that little bit lower. What a play coming through from Team Spirit. The individual dominance coming through from Nisha and mid for Secret. Collapse for Spirit is just way too much. This is a show.
Let's see if they can continue that now. Spirit, it's going to be a very difficult defense in the top lane. Nisha's nearby, as well, but it's going to get laid down. They need a little bit more damage. Nisha's going to try and find an angle for the Tidebringer. It'll just run over the tower. They've even got Crystallis here as well, but the Watcher Toronto Tokyo will attempt to TP out, and you'll make it. They're going to try and cut their losses here, but look at the spread damage. Crystallis to Mira, they're lacking the stuns. Because the rest of the team are focusing down the Poshka's Clockwork.
Dire structures are fortified.
They still get the aggressive push in onto the tower. They get a couple of kills. Team Spirit's sake, you've got Collapse playing down on this bottom side to hit into this tower. Keep the creep wave pushed. Again, they're playing for the later stages of this game. What a play. Getting the level 6 off the back of that. You don't expect this.
Under attack.
Big smiles.
Oh god. Very issues now. At least Secret, like one thing you were saying is that these lanes had to go really well for them, and they have. They had a 2,000 net worth lead now. T1 tower top's been claimed. What else needs to go right for Secret here?
Oh, they got to keep the tempo. How close is Nisha to summon this time?
Let's go. Boy is playing behind him. But Crystallis just beating down Clockwork. Easy kill onto the Poshka. Zayats will not be able to escape though. Toronto Tokyo claim the life. life, and now he's going to move into Crystals as well. As we're a choke phase, so get a couple bounces back without Barometer proving to be too much of an issue. But Puppy, he's even going to make the rotation as well. Another easy kill for Crystals to find. So we're getting Secret, bringing multiple members for these early skirmishes.
And importantly as well, not committing super heavily for it either on Team Secret. They still didn't use the
Dire's
black
middle
hole for that
tower
attempt.
is under attack.
It means that you still need to be playing a little bit scared.
Radiant's bottom tower
Mango.
is under attack.
Keep pushing the waves out as much as you can. Liking this play coming through from them. They're grouping up a little bit more than they were in that game number 1 and hitting their timings, realizing the strength of their abilities when used in conjunction with each other. He's not going to, of course, pick it up. But to soak up a little bit more of that experience for himself. It's all about just trying to sustain yourself as much as you can in these team fights. Not give your life up for free. See if you can wait out the usage of that global silence before committing the Fiend's Grip. So more points than usual that you would normally see on this Brain Sap. So it helps
Radiant's
this
bottom
with
tower
maybe some of the
is
split
under
push
attack.
coming through. Time at being able to deal with the
Dire's
the
middle
summons.
tower is under attack.
They're just pushing down into this bottom side of the tower, trying to bait someone to make this move a little bit more defensively on Secret, but they're not taking the bait. They want to keep playing aggressively. They know that they don't have to deal with the Helm of the Overlord for the next little bit at least. Happy enough to lose out on some of this net worth because they've still got other ways to be able to pick it up. Mid lane, top lane, that's enough for them right now.
Yeah, we see with all the
Radiant's
Secret, they're going
bottom
to smoke
tower
themselves.
is under
Poshka's in a
attack.
pretty good position to pop this. Gonna go the long way around though. Wanting to finally shut down Collapse on the Beastmaster. Able to scout out his position. But Poshka is
him.
nearby to
Are
cancel the
scanning.
Fiend's Grip if required.
They saw him though, so they know to play around it. Half duration left on that. They're going to try for the full wraparound here onto Collapse.
They need more members. TPs, they're starting to come out. There we go. Full screen. Fine hook shot onto Puppy. They need the Fiend's Grip to be able to hold them down, but it will not matter as Crystals and Dice finds an opening to lead into the fight. Even Resolution will show up as well. So Secret putting a lot of importance on these early game fights.
Again, they know they're hitting their timings together. They know they've got the Wraith Pack, Black Hole available, Tier 1 tower still standing. They want to make sure that they're taking that away from Yatoro as much as possible. He shouldn't be feeling safe to just sit in this dire side of the map and farm safely in the jungle. And well, you definitely shouldn't be feeling safe on a silencer with Mira just getting easily picked off by the team as he tries to drag the aggro away from
Dire's
the
middle
tower.
tower has fallen.
Hey, with that,
Good job.
Nisha, BKB, is looking to make the aggressive move forward, realizing how hard he is to kill. Trying to, yes, accelerate his own net worth, but also deny some of this away from Team Spirit.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Little farm you can slow down from Spirit getting is going to be incredibly important. The camps away here from the Spectre. Even the camps for the Pangolier as well. You have Toronto, Tokyo rushing to the Lincolns.
Oh, they found
Up
Yatoro.
top. Yeah, they're onto it. Oh, Resolution.
What are they going to
One
commit
point of the
for it?
Midnight Pulse. Isn't it because of the use of the Blade Mail? But Poshka's nearby as well. They've got the Global Silence. They're going to hope that they don't need any ultimates. But Poshka, oh, what a beautiful angle. Somehow slips the hook shot into the middle. But Poppy and the Furious are nearby to respond once again. And Fiend's Grip to hold down the Rolling Thunder. And they won't be able to chase Poshka into the tree line. It's Chrysalis finds a double kill. And now the G2 tower is going to be in some trouble.
Yeah, I mean, Secret are too good to just let you get the perfect global silence off, right? You're always going to need to get something in exchange for it. That time around, they popped it early, realizing, look, there's no BKB for the turnaround. We're still going to lock out this black hole. We're still going to stop this Fiend's Grip from coming through. They get the 2-for-1. They get some damage in onto the Tier 2 tower. Well, they even get another kill onto Mira. Movement coming down top from Rezo. To not give up their own Tier 2 tower for free. Again, Collapse is doing a pretty good job of creating space and shoving out this bottom side, forcing the more defensive movements. No black hole used, but you're not up there with the rest of the team. You can't make use of it. I think
See what Spirit can do.
That's what Rezo's thinking, right? He knows that they can probably look to commit the global silence for the Fiend's Grip in the next couple of fights, right? Puppy's actually going for a Lotus Orb super early on for himself, just wanting to provide that cleanse to make sure that, you know, maybe he might not get it onto himself. Maybe he uses it in onto Rezo, who's going to dagger.
Gonna see resolution, but the rest of Secret is starting to connect. They need to be quick on the kill, and they should be able to do so. There the boys are showing up once again. A Secret always nearby to be able to capitalize on a team fight. A 2-for-1 exchange. Chrysalis gets the double kill, and now they can once again swarm out on the map.
Pretty well with their strategy, right? This is exactly how the game needed to go for it to have a chance in this one. 5k net worth lead, but just have a quick look over at Dota Plus.
Radiant's
It's
middle tower
obviously
is
Secret
under
favored
attack.
a little bit, but not as much as you might expect from an 18-6 kill score. Just 62% right now. Good reason, Spectre, if you let her get to the late game, if you let that Blink Dagger and some of these other backline invading items and abilities start to come out from Team Spirit, suddenly the game can turn a lot more towards you. You've already got the Helm of the Overlord available. You're going to take over the Ancient Thunderhide, so maybe now's the time that Team Spirit actually look to make a bit more of an aggressive move. Yasha nearly picked up. Yatoro, level 11 on Beastmaster, with that Helm of the Overlord that I mentioned. Almost ego time.
I wonder when Secret feel like they can force the issue on Roche as well, because they don't have the greatest lineup.
I don't know if they
I
need to.
Data are scanning.
Like, what big abilities are you really needing to stop, right? Of course, Roche is great, but I feel like they need to put even more emphasis onto just taking these towers. That's the bigger objective this game, in my eyes.
Do you think they can... So you obviously think they can take tier 2 towers without Aegis?
Yes. Yeah, you're stronger right now. You've got the Enigma. You've got the pushing potential. You've got decent vision up around the area. I'm an idiot. They're going into Roche anyway.
Radiant's bottom tower
But,
is under attack.
you know, again, you're going to have to give something up in
Radiant's
exchange for
bottom
this.
tower
Collapse takes the
has
tier 2 tower, gets closer to that next item. It's going to keep trying to put the
Dire's
pressure
top
down here
tower
with the
is
Helm of the
under attack.
Overlord. So, yeah, you might take Roche, but what are you going to lose in the meantime? The Clockwork as well, Rocket Flare, used into the Roche
Radiant's
pit.
bottom tower
They look to
is
go
under
for some
attack.
sort of big play here, and you're going to need to make a decision, right? Collapse is still running.
And this is what's going to happen for the entirety of the game now. Like, Secret are just going to look to ball up, and in fact, they're backing out of Roche, so they're not even getting it. This is a lot of gold that's going Spirit's way, and again, you do
Radiant's
not want to
bottom
give this
tower
team the
is
late
under attack.
game.
Yeah, even just using the Rocket
Radiant
Flare this time with the
structures
vision that they've
are
got around the pit, realizing that if it hasn't fallen down now, maybe they did back off. So Mikoshka putting the Rocket Flare inside the tree line, making sure that Collapse can
Radiant's
continue
bottom
this
tower
rat play.
is under
I don't think
attack.
they're all that concerned about
Radiant's
the
bottom
Roshan, to be
tower
perfectly
is
honest.
falling.
Oh, not at all. You don't care about this Aegis. Like, yeah, Secret are going to ball up, but now you just have an open tier 3 tower. So Secret have to push through bottom. Like, ideally for Radiant, you want to take this tier 2 top. You want to try and play in the top jungle. I don't think you can do that now because open up the barracks.
Dire's middle
Agreements there.
tower
I think they
is
would have
under
gotten
attack.
a little bit more value if they just took the tier 2 tower in time. I suppose that would have just meant that you still lost the tier 3 tower. But I mean, you've got a Conquer that can just use the X marks to go back, right? And be able to deal with that. So, I don't know. To me, it's just Collapse again, playing another stellar game. Realizing the weakness of the draft. Of course, he didn't get the best time out of the lane. He had that, of course, enormous play, but ever since then, he's done an amazing job of creating space for Yatoro.
Double
That
damage!
2-death start has it ballooned into much more. Back that net worth.
From lane. See as well, Spirit trying to set up a trap,
Precious
but
bounty.
Secret again bringing more members. Need to try and get control of their jungle again. They need to try and get control of the map just in general. Don't let Spirit continue to find their farm for free, because they are getting way too much out of these past couple of minutes. The Poppy
Radiant's middle
probably
tower
going to be the
is under
target of the
attack.
roar and just an easy kill. That's all you need here. Bring down one more. Make them run. Poppy will still go down nonetheless, but Secret will look for the rebuttal. Not catch up to the Clockwork. Oh, even Global Silence potentially just to cover the retreat of Collapse.
Yeah, they realize how important he is. And they still were able to take out the Helm of the Overlord creep, so there's not going to be as much pressure put down onto the bottom side. So I like that out of Team Secret. What this does mean as well is that with the Global being used, maybe now with the Blink Dagger on the Black Hole, you're free to make a big play happen. Should be a pretty free
Radiant's
kill on the
middle
mirror
tower
here.
is under
I
attack.
mean, it's a silence, so you can only do so much in the lane, and well, they're going to
they missed
reveal
the
the lane.
torrent.
Okay, they hit the Malthus though.
You set sail for
Double
fail.
spell casting, so Secret had to look to address this mid lane because the catapult, so they will continue to hold their tier 1 tower. And finally, the map is in a good position for them to get something out of it. All the lanes over the halfway mark. They should finally be able to get some firm control back with this Aegis. It's been a really a big nuisance for the past couple of minutes. Spirit have been annoying for them.
Collapse going back, taking another one of those ancient creeps. Health is going to do good amount of work, but again, maxed HP
Dire's
against
top tower
an
is
Enigma and a
under
Bloodseeker.
attack.
Doesn't have the Blood Rage just
Dire's
yet
structures
with the
are
Aghanim shot,
fortified.
but as soon as he picks that one up, he doesn't really care about these high HP pools.
They're gonna make the attempt. Notorious gonna get involved as well as Nisha gets blown off. This is starting to get some really dangerous territory here
Radiant's
for
middle tower
Secret.
is under
Yeah,
attack.
even like not even committing collapse for that one. They just use a Toronto Tokyo to go down onto the bottom side to potentially force more defensive rotations. Again, they're basically
Radiant's
playing the
bottom
style that
barracks are
Secret
under
have tried
attack.
to play. This really greedy, like play for the later stages, and Team Spirit do it better than anyone else. They just know the
They're okay with giving up the life of the clockwork. You need core kills. You can't be continuing to get these position 5s. And in fact, Spirit, they're potentially thinking about taking a fight. Toronto Tokyo with a rolling thunder just wants to snag the illusion rune and get out.
Dire are scanning.
tempted to use the Fiend's Grip there, Puppy, just to try and catch him off guard, but yeah, they've hit this little bit of a snag in their plans, right? Mirror, he's died 6 times, but again, you're not doing what you're good at with Silencer, but it's what you have to do. You have to shove these lanes away. If you can avoid dying like he has tried at this top side with the use of the Observer Ward, then great. You know, you've forced some kind of movement up towards this top. It means that Nisha isn't clumped together with the rest of the team, and you've only got a minute left on this Aegis, so you might get a tier 2. I feel like Secret will wanting to get much more out of this Aegis than just that.
I think we're really
Dire's
seeing
top
Spirit
tower
do an
is
incredible
under
job at
attack.
just exploiting the support duo on Secret. Like, they're great at pickoffs, but their lanes, man, they can't do anything. Like, you
Dire's
always have
top
one lane
tower
that is
has
shoved in.
fallen.
Again, someone has to address bottom.
Radiant's bottom
But this is
barracks are
maybe
under
where
attack.
Nisha needs to consider about a boots of travel, but you've already committed too heavily into your build.
I still think it's probably worth it, to be honest, and with the tier 3 tower going down, it just means that you can use the Hawk a lot more further towards the tier 4 towers as well, right? You don't even necessarily need to have it covering the tree line. You can see a bit more of the like supports that might be able to be standing on the back lines, and that just enables, for example, Yatoro to be able to make that individual jump.
Boy, collapse with a freebie. All the sentries out in the lane, just making it so difficult. He's trying to find the opening to bring them down, and the Postka as well, just again acting as a bodyguard. They do not care how many deaths the support gets. They're even going to rupture the helm of the Overlook creep as well. Like, Secret is just hoping to try and call this in a position where they can try and get some map control, but oh, this is such an incredible gameplay out of the reigning champions.
Yeah, they're not letting them do anything that they want to right now, and Yatoro, I mean, they're playing defensively now. If they fight, they have the potential to do it, but I think unless someone's completely isolated on their own, they're not going to commit that haunt, and only take the punch away from Yatoro picking up the Aghanim Scepter as well. So you can look to get those individual pickoffs. You saw how quickly
Radiant's
even
top
Nisha, the
tower is
tankiest
under
person
attack.
on Secret, died when there
Dire's
was that
middle
rotation
tower is
coming through
under
from just
attack.
3 of Team Spirit's heroes.
You might need to consider a gem kind of shortly for Secret. It feels like Spirit are just reading them like a book, and
Radiant's
again, this
top
lineup
tower
needs
is under
pickoffs to then
attack.
be able to get them out into a position, but you need pickoff on the cores and you're not finding them, so maybe a gem is something they're considering, but Puppy really needs this Lotus Orb to have a decent time in fights. Like, Zayats needs Blink as well. Just the supports are getting no farm. Very, very difficult game to play here.
Radiant's
Postka's just
top
using
tower
dust in
is
the lane
under
as well to
attack.
see if Zayats is there, but
Radiant's are scanning.
they're gonna see collapse in the tree line. Instant use of the global silence. No hesitation to try and protect the cause. They might be able to turn it back onto collapse. However, Crystal's gonna be able to charge into the middle. He'll go through the Poshka next as well. So finally, Secret will not only get 1 kill, a second, and now potentially a third as well. It's all gonna be off the back of Zayat's stun, and he'll be able to land it onto Mira. Triple kill for Crystalus, and this now heavily opens up the bottom lane.
Radiant's
He's
middle
even gone
tower
ahead and
is under
bought the
attack.
Aghanim shard on the Bloodseeker, not
Dire's
wanting to
bottom
wait
tower
for
is
that
under
second
attack.
Roshan for the freebie. Got plenty of heroes that would love to pick it up on your team
attack.
anyway. Just
Dire's
a little bit of
bottom
extra
tower has fallen.
control in these team fights through the Torrent Storm would be nice. Realizing how much of a damage boost that's going to give him, and it was all on the back of a clever Midnight Pulse coming through from Rezo, being able to catch them off into the trees. They realize, why aren't we catching these guys? It's because they're playing around that fog of war. one clever usage of it suddenly opens up much more of the map for them to be able to play around. 2 towers, multiple heroes killed, and Secret give themselves that little bit of a net worth buffer again. Dipped in Spirit's favor, the win probability coming through. I know Dota Plus does love the Spectre, but it's been able to creep its way back up towards Secret off the back of that.
See if it's going to be a fast roach spawn here for Secret. They have this objective to be able to clean and then push down some of the buildings. Actually baiting Yatoro though.
He's got his Ags though, right before this roach potentially spawns, but it's a pretty long one. And look at that, as soon as it can respawn, instant rocket flare coming through from Makoshka. They're on the ball. Their minds are in the game. They're not stressed by this situation. They've been here many times before. Game 5, TI Grand Finals. You don't get much more intense than that. And even a Mind Breaker, such a great item for a Spectre to pick up if they wanted to get that over to him.
This could be a pivotal moment if Secret find the opening. Yatoro's going to show him the lane. For a second though, they'll back up and it looks like Spirit, finally for them, they're going to smoke as well. We could have a big 5-on-5, but seems like Spirit believe that a Secret are playing behind this top lane.
Are under attack.
Good assumption. I mean, when you don't know 100, well, actually, you do know the situation with Roche, you know that that's what they want to play around, right? Maybe they didn't see the fact that the Aghanim Shard was purchased up by Chrysalis just being
So a lot of damage coming out from the Spectre, and it might just be enough to get the kill into the Enigma to start the team fight. Yatoro's now going to try and prioritize the top as well. Can they re-enter? Yatoro off to the right side, chasing down Puppy. They want to get rid of the supports with ease, and he should be able to do so. No one on Secret protecting the Bane. Yatoro gets a completely free fight, but back in the middle. Crystals can chase down one with a triple kill. A Global Silence going to be able to protect the Black Holes. Yatoro somehow still alive for the moment, but Zayat done up in a couple of seconds. Resolution can body block if required.
Radiant's bottom
Go on
barracks
cooldown
are
to
under
get some
attack.
distance away. Secret, the rest of the members are starting to converge on Yatoro's location, and there will be no escape for the Spectre. Back and forth he goes, creating all the chaos he would hope
Dire's
for.
middle
But
tower
somehow
is
they
under
have
attack.
some vision of him on the high gun in Secret. A big team fight victory for them.
I mean, they just brought him too low. Old Mate Bloodseeker able to pick him off even with that melee attack range. Nothing that's going to extend his right-click range, but they... I thought that fight was going to go a lot better for
Dire's
Spirit.
middle
They
tower is
ended
under
up
attack.
using
Dire's
I believe,
structures
onto
are
the Pangolier.
fortified.
He has the Lincolns, so it was wasted. You had to use the Rupture onto the Rolling Thunder. It still is able to take out Toronto Tokyo towards the start of that team fight. Just shows the strength of this Bloodseeker. If you're able to get into this stage of the game and allow the right clicks to happen. Already so fast with the Blood Rage, amplified by the Mjolnir on top of everything else.
Radiant's top tower is under
Everything to try
attack.
and hold him down. Wall to put him in a position where Chrysalis couldn't stun,
Back
but
live, collapses
Oh,
actually getting
Zayat.
dived a little bit here underneath the tier 2, looking to try and creeps away from him, but they're just going to commit. They will.
will indeed. Chrysalis protected with
Dire's
the
middle
BKB,
tower
and
is under attack.
the five sides might be in a position to get another one
Dire's
though.
middle tower has fallen.
Scouted up with Postcard, and they're going to be able to jump forward as well. It's a great position from Zayat.
Radiant's
Even with
courier
another
has
plus
been
one
killed.
kill, and this could be the opening for the high
Radiant's
ground now
top
for
tower
Secret.
is under Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Such a good job with the way that the lanes were. Lotus Orb now as well finished up, so you're going to be able to have that Fiend Script capability. Know that Lincoln Sphere though on the Pango, really the best use of their abilities, but even just to allow, for example, the BKB not to be popped super early on, providing the Lotus in onto the Enigma perhaps to allow that Blink Black Hole while the BKB still isn't up quite yet on Rezo. Very, very big, but you've taken all the tier 2s, you know 100% that Roche is up, so they're just going to go back and claim it on Secret. Set up to Zayat. Great game on his next assassin. Out exactly where he might be, knowing that they might need to go for the full wraparound in the lane, but looking to get a little bit more aggressive with his position. He catches out the smoke from Makoshka, gets pinged out immediately, and they still secure the Roche Shard.
And they've got a great warp to go to instantly on Secret. So we have to be so cautious if they stick out on the map here. Delve them back in. Giving any breathing room, Spirit. They're in trouble. They still see Toronto Tokyo.
Yeah, but they should see that Niche is coming here. Should. Lincoln's going to be popped.
He's going to go from the post instead. Easier pickings. Shot tries it. Okay, relatively well done.
Pickoff's a pickoff. But, yeah, able to get away with a double 4-staff coming through. Bit of a delay game, though, isn't it?
That it is, but
Yes,
can they stall
X
this high
marks the
ground? Because
spot.
it's time for Secret. 13,000 advantage. Maybe you're waiting for the basher to be completed on Crystals.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under
Buybacks on the
attack.
supports as well. Spirit realized that we weren't able to hold out as much as we thought we were, even though he did a fantastic job. But they got to commit with their items right now. And Toronto Tokyo, he's going into the Aghanim Scepter, hoping that they can win the next team fight. Yeah, 5v6. They don't want to get collapse caught out super early.
Radiant's bottom
Option up
barracks
to the
are under
northern
attack.
side. We'll be able to backfire enough away, and that's way too deep for Secret to attempt that. So
There it goes.
You now get aggressive, though. You don't have to worry about the rupture. You've got Toronto Tokyo. Basher with the Lotus Sword might feel very, very capable of just moving in, taking this next team fight. You just got to fix the lanes. Bottom, six, mid lane. They're doing a fairly decent job, but Chrysalis doesn't want to let them manipulate the map any further than they already have. They even gave the Aghanim shot over to Puppy, just so that they can get that AoE brain sap, so that they can make lanes constantly be in their favor
Ace.
and make these spirit moves more obvious. Gem for them, not wanting to get caught out.
Lower the boom.
Shot. That's a big pick. You need the
Dire's
global.
middle barracks are under attack.
1,500 damage. They're going to test the buyback.
Not
Yes,
so
really able
safe
to get
up,
that link in
eh?
as well. Onto the swashbuckle. Could have potentially led to the death of Toronto Tokyo.
Dire's middle barracks has
Lead to the
fallen.
racks going down.
Oh my god, Nisha's confident. The
Dire's
amount of
middle
times I've seen him
barracks
one-hit
is
people. Oh, it's just so dumb.
1,600 damage that time.
That's all they needed, just a little bit of luck from a crit. They see you tore out of the base. Uh-oh, scary, Toro. What can they do? No one else is nearby. Tries the man to dodge. Looks like they just have to give up the Spectral 5. He'll try and TP out, but the Tidebringer again from
my
Nisha.
way.
No buyback on the Spectre, and they're going to have to do it
Radiant's bottom
4v5.
barracks
I don't
are
think they're going to be
under
able to. This is why Team Spirit, they are a very good team being able to stall it out this long, but Secret, their aggressive tempo. This feels like when they play their most successful Dota. They're able to clump up
Radiant's
together when they're
bottom
not
barracks
waiting
are
for this
under
later
attack.
game timing. With the mid lane pushing in, there's nothing stopping them from just converging in onto this top side. With the gem, they're going to even take out some of the vision that they've got with the Hawks. They haven't managed it. I mean, the ancient Rumble Hide just trying
Radiant's
to pull
bottom
the waves to
barracks are
influence
under
them that
attack.
little bit further. Feeling a little bit conscious of the fact that they can go on this
Radiant
high ground.
structures are fortified.
I think they can. Wages, minute and a half, no Spectre, and they're still playing scared. Puppy's all the way back at base.
Oh my lord. The consistent spam of the rocket flare down bottom. You finally are addressing. Puppy's like, give me these gold. Oh, it's a lot of farm
yum,
too.
yum.
Look good. He's got a lot of net worth. I guess that is helping out with the Aghanim Shard, but alright, Spirit, they'll live to see another day. Ages only for a minute. You have to be a little bit concerned if Lucy gets his hand on a DD.
And he will. All
Double
right,
damage.
on predictions. How much damage is he doing to Mira?
What did he do last time? Well, I guess
1600.
I'll say like, like 2100.
Yeah,
Dire
I'm going to
are
say
scanning.
2222.
Sure, we'll go with that. That's great
Radiant
position.
are scared.
Once again, you'd always expect it out of his next assassin. Sniffing out any opportunity that Spirit have to try and control the triangle.
Without Puppy
They
there,
look
though,
to have-
they don't see that this Hawk, higher amount of information about their positionings, got it watered as well. So Team Spirit, they're going to back off. Might go for the full wraparound, but be a little bit of work to be able to deal with both the super creeps in the mid lane, as well as that top lane that's pretty heavily pushing it. Double siege creep of their own is going to help matters, but they don't really hate waiting as well. We saw how effective they were at timing out that Aegis at the perfect moment in the previous. It's only 5 seconds away. Won't even get rid of the Observer Ward out there. Nisha said, get out of my base.
Alright, there we go. Aegis ticks out. Game will continue on. Actually looking to jump in. Trying to go from far, not heavily committing to the Dyads. Toronto Tokyo, oh no, the rolling fire. And
Oh, he's back.
He's back for Crystals. He'll get out of the ultra with a swashbuckle. The positioning on the right side. Look to TP Lorenzo. No hesitation. They're even going to global for it. Maybe Toronto Tokyo, the abilities are on cooldown. They'll still chase him down. That is global silence used to no avail.
On godlike as well on Chrysalis, really showing why you gotta give respect over to the man's heroes. Many of them were banned out in the draft, but they left the Bloodseeker through. Now they don't have that global, they don't have the war, they don't have the Pango left alive, and like Yatoro doesn't feel like he's ready either. He wants that Skadi, he wants that level 20, so he can tank up a little bit further. Titan's is gonna help. He might have lost a second lane of Rax in the meantime.
Are fortified.
With these siege creeps far enough away, never mind. They might just get cleaved down by the multi-shot, so stall this out again. Spirit. All the way back to base even on Yatoro. Be there just to be able to poke out there with the Spectral Dagger. Without Pango there really isn't anyone that's going to be able to do the same amount of work except for the Beastmaster. The Rufflehide never really gets the love that he deserves, you know? Mostly it's the Thunderhide. Accuracy increase, but no one's holding the Butterfly, I don't think, so give an issue. No Halberds either.
Alright. What do we got in store for us? Game continuing to push on leader. It's just, Spirit, you got to play some really slow fights and not heavily jump in the middle. You have this much of a net worth deficit that if you just face check 5 people, you're going to lose the team fight. It needs to be kind of the haunts to killing off the supports, just not heavily committing, in and out, dancing perfectly. It's really the name of the game. If you can kill off the Bane and the Nyx Assassin and kind of kite resolution, you might have an end to this team fight. It's not going to be easy at all. There's such a deficit for them to overcome.
They're getting some nice neutral items. Like, this is the first time that they've been able to actually go out onto the map in what feels like 10 minutes. You know, they had 3 out of the tier 3 items at the 37-minute mark. So the fact that they've been able to get to these ancient camp, slightly higher likelihood for these items to drop, means that they get the Stormcrafter, they get the Timeless Relic. You're able to position yourself a little bit more effectively. Maybe collapse without the BKB. He gets hit by the Malefice, for example, could just Stormcrafter out of it instead.
Not so safe harbor, eh?
Level 20 on Yatoro, he's got the Skadi. Ready to fight.
It's for them. It feels like if you're gonna smoke, you need to be carrying a ward to drop down. This nighttime, you know that Secret have held the gem for such a long time, so you don't really have any wards in a position that you can smoke to.
This is big as well, though, with the Witchbane. Been able to pick that one up, so you're going to be able to pop a lot of these abilities that they're going to be putting onto people, right? Like the Lincoln Spear on Bloodseeker. Maybe they get the lockdown that they need onto him with the Primal Roar if the cohesion is there. Haunt, blink in, roar off, although actually, mind. Lapse doesn't have the Blink Dagger. He's going into the Octarine Core. Maybe you need to have a little bit of a change up here to be able to find that key pick off at the start of the fight, because Chrysalis is just getting out of control. He is out of control.
Been out of control.
1 and 9.
It's a crazy performance from him. I don't think the Bloodseeker's won a game so far as well, unless some other things have happened throughout the other streams today. But yeah, I mean, it's his bread and butter. He's Grandmaster on the Bloodseeker, so.
What?
Radiant's
You've got the Aghanims now on the Pango.
Attack.
You've got the extra swashbuckle damage as well from the level 20. A lot more damage that Tokyo is able to do in these team fights. You've got to enable him, though. You've got to try and find that initial pick off there. Doesn't matter who, honestly. Be anyone.
I'm gonna try and get rid of the Nyx Assassin to the team fight. Chrysalis, no hesitation with jumping to the cogs, and there'll be no follow-up. Maybe trying to make some space, see if Yatoro can have an opening to deal with this final barracks down bottom.
He's got X marks back, though, so he's going to be able to deal with it and still make the retreat. Put the Mjolnir onto the creep wave. Potentially use that to keep it extra shoved, but he's approaching his level 25.
Aggressive jump on the high ground with the Roars.
Found him.
It's a lot of damage to start the fight. Into the low ground they go, trying to target them with the Nyx Assassin. They'll be able to get a double kill.
And the gem.
What a perfect way to start the team fight in Spirit, and they want more now with this advantage. Toro trying to chase down Puppy. He's got to be cautious about the rupture. That'll just cover the retreat on Crystals, but they're still going to be able to catch up nonetheless. It's Toronto Tokyo easily closes the distance. And Spirit don't even sweat it in that team
Roche
fight,
is up
and they
as
can
well.
now consider about Roche.
Oh, you got one creep hitting into your tier 4s, but you don't care. The lane is pushed out enough. Maposhka dragging it away as well, just making sure that your own creep wave is able to overwhelm the super creeps. And I was saying, it's just an individual pick-off that you need, right? Doesn't matter onto who, but you probably couldn't ask for someone better than Nisha to just be slightly out of position, get that initial stun through. They're going to commit the buyback on Puppy, but I don't think this is going to result in much. It's going to need to be the biggest black hole of all time from Rezo.
He does have Refresher, so he might be able to use out the first goal of
Found him, though.
Just controlling up the Nick. We won't even have an opportunity to use the spells. Dancing in and out here, Toro goes, and Puppy somehow got put on the high ground. Might be able to clean off Mirror, but Toronto Tokyo gets a lucky dash. Soon to be a dieback for Chrysalis. He wants to enter the fight as well. And I'm going to clean up the Sansa up to the northern side. He's going to get some distance away, but Toronto Tokyo hot pursuit, a bash there, and now we can bounce back. But Spirit, they want to get bash.
Oh, Chrysalis went for the bash. He went for the lucky bash. And bottom lane's pushing in. I mean, these double creep waves. They're just lasting for way too long. Someone again is going to need to come back. Puppy, yoink, says yeah, the AoE braid sap, but the damage that you're able to output, if you're able to just get in on top of them, it's reached this stage of the game. It's a 16k network lead, but it's a similar situation with the Rax. You've got the Aegis advantage as well.
It's the sick collapse on the high ground. The players could move over pretty fast because Nisha with some crits coming through for the Tidebringer. But they can turn it around. Team Spirit playing the distance. Oh, another easy kill with a global silence. Oh my, just short.
A deal. But yeah, we get the bottom lane. I mean, Puppy, he's not there. He's just continuing to farm. Let me just have a look at the difference between the supports levels as well. Puppy nearly up to the level 20. Wouldn't really provide him too much in these fights, right? The Nightmare cooldown, it's nice, I suppose, just to be able to juke out perhaps some of these Rolling Thunders or maybe even the Roar if you're really on point. But he is one of the prime targets if Spirit are able to find him position-wise. So I feel like they're just doing every little thing right. Team Spirit right now to give them the chances to get back into this game. Maybe even looking to play more around this bottom side. You know that they're going to drag people down here to have to deal with this lane. Maybe you can find a pick-off as they try and deal with it.
We've spoken a lot about Spirit's late game and how we feel like this is a 5-man that might have the advantage over Secret. I'm really intrigued to see how Chrysalis is going to be able to scale. I think Bloodseeker, the Ag shard, is very, very undervalued. And in a game like this, where you're going up against a Spectre who's going to have a crap load of health, and the Beastmaster as well, like, if he gets a few Swiftblink and Abyssal, I think he might be able to do it for Secret.
I think he might need Silver Edge on top of that. Just for the break, but not even just the break for the Spectre's potential, right? Also, you're going up against the Aghanim Scepter on the Pango, not necessarily just within the ball. Every single time that you're using your shield crash, you're swashbuckling, right? So he's going to be going for that disarm. You want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. You want to make sure that you get that instant jump there and you're able to lock him down.
Anyone shows on the map, they might just die. Yatoro's got a DD. So Secret got to play a little bit more grouped together for the next 40 seconds or so. Making sure you don't give a freebie away. As soon as you get that kill on Spirit, you can now start to swarm into Secret's territory. See if they can set up. Starting to move down bottom. Crystal's going to TP out. Zayat's in the jungle at the moment. Maposhka was smoked.
Radiant's top
They've got the
tower
vision
is
of
under
Phoenix Assassin as well. And Maposhka just needs to line up. And he'll do it perfectly. A great hook shot from the Clockwork. And now you've got 70 seconds where you don't have to worry about the Nyx. But Secret, multiple heroes showing down bottom. So they're going to maybe make a play up top.
Pretty healthy creep wave again.
Dire are scanning.
They're using this Rumble Hide instead. Maybe just the attack speed aura they feel like is going to provide the extra Radic potential rather than just the simple right clicks.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah,
I can't.
anything.
Not that I can see, no. So I'm not sure. hookshot. Jeez. Sage is going for next. Lincoln's in the Conquer, almost level 25 as well. So probably going to see the Tidebringer cooldown, considering really needs to be scaling damage as this game continues to go on.
Got it as well. He had the Aghanim Scepter queued up for the longest time. Again, just trying to provide a little bit more space, perhaps some of that chaos that Resolution needs, because we haven't seen that huge black hole yet this game. That's one of the things that could look to Secret back into this one, but how many times do you see a team go from a 16k to a 10k net worth lead, and slowly but surely the opposing team is just closing in on your territory? It should be the opposite a lot of the time, but that's just the power of the Spectre, power of the Vision, and the inability of Secret's heroes to be able to deal with this pushing style of draft.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Momentum is completely swung. They will be able to avoid the Aegis advantage. Let's not lose a big team fight. But it has given Team Spirit so much now. Pretty much an angle back into this game. Tower is just going to claim mid. Slow poke collapse. And there's going to be no response. So it's like our final outer tower is going to go down.
The Tiebreaker cooldown as well.
Has fallen.
Wanting to enable Nisha as much as possible. And he's tired of getting caught out as well. Lincoln Sphere, next item built up for him. He's gone into the Silver Edge as well. So really don't see Yatoro ever being in a position where he's going to be caught out first. He's nearly level 25 as well. So what option he looks to go down towards, whether it be the haunt damage or just the acclimate from the dispersion. He's well, so maybe he's going to choose dispersion. He wants to
He's just going to try and turn it around off the back of the Tidebringer. A lot of damage to be able to start the team fight. It's Toronto Tokyo is going to get overwhelmed. The Secret, 0 casualties from them. A beautiful skirmish.
They ended up popping the Hawk for that one as well, and I'm sure they're going to be aware of that. Still waiting for that black hole. You know, they didn't pop the Global Silence for it, so clearly we're thinking that we just need to be able to save this for the Enigma. That's the thing that's going to be able to bring Secret back into this game. So hard to say that with an 11k lead, right? But it does feel like if they are able to get that big 4-5 man wipe, then they can actually look to aggressively push out these lanes.
They need to try and control their jungle though. With these two pickoffs, you need to start to de-ward the map, and they're going to do it as a team. So they have this potential to go for these pickoffs thanks to the Spectre. So there's one ward gone. Be able to get some more as well with the outpost control. So this is incredibly important now for Secret. Puts them in a position that they're not too worried about Spirit having full control over.
Down that burst route though, aren't they? On Team Spirit. Refresher orb available. Collapse. Imagine the Blink Dagger set to come after that. You know, they've got great ways to jump with the clock, with the Pango. That extra layer.
Fire. Gonna find one. He's got Poppy nearby. Yatora's gonna jump and assassinate the bait. He's out and get out as well. They didn't need the Global Silence to counter it, but they've used the first one. Oh, where's the refreshers coming into play? But it looks like both sides are gonna back up.
The middle with that hook shot. I mean, you understand the Global Silence every single time that you see the black hole. That's why you're using it. Being able to pick up the refresher orb as well. Silencer, one of the better heroes to actually carry it these days. Not, of course, just for the double usage, but you're always going to need that extra mana regen coming through.
It really seems like that's probably what it's going to be. Like Yatoro jumping onto one target and Rezo just waiting for him to use the Shadow Step, where you try and pop the black hole first time, and then global out, and then you use it a second time to follow up again afterwards.
Medium length Thorish reach as well.
Yatoro's in as well. They just blow up the Bloodseeker, and now they're looking for more. Yatoro is going to be able to catch out Resolution. In and out they go. Have they got detection though? A great timing with the blink, but the Hawk is there to scout out the Enigma. Spirit, they will not be able to move on over.
Work's got the hook shot available. It's just all about that vision. The second we catch someone on the retreat, or potentially should be more like he goes for one shot. Two shot, absolutely.
Deep sixth.
The rest of the boys are coming. This has been such a weird game.
Oh yeah.
42 to 18.
50 minutes in, 10 minutes away. I don't want to jinx it.
Tokyo mid lane. The jump. Nisha's gonna fall control. Yatoro needs to try and protect him, but the Spectre's not gonna do enough. Another big kill for Secret to find a Resolution's ready to rock and roll. In with the black hole, but the instant counter. Collapse. Gonna be able to cover the retreat. They have to break. Tor's in some trouble for the moment. Nisha needs to pump the damage out, but the global silence not gonna be enough. A hook shot into the middle, but Zayats, the finishing blow, cutting off the head of the Spectre. But can they get more out of this secret? By S3, the Toronto Tokyo once remains and is going to be able to find it. Catching up to the Nyx Assassin, over the Blade Seeker, he goes next as well, but the rupture from Chrysalis, the double rupture as well, the collapse. A passionate look around the TPR, but he gets the badge. Chrysalis finds two, and he's looking for more.
Looking for more, but he might not need it. Buyback coming out from the entire team, out of Team Spirit right now. Got one buyback remaining, just the silencer. I think you could look to go for these little pickoffs. So I guess Roche is back up. You did need to commit the buyback on the Bloodseeker. They're going down the safer route. Probably mean that he could look to go into that Missile Blade as well, but they had to win that fight on Secret. They absolutely had to. He expended the buyback on Chrysalis, and he pops the BKB, gets the bash on Toronto Tokyo as he uses his own buyback. He tries to TP away, gets the bash with all of that attack speed onto Collapse as well. Opens up the Roche pit for themselves. Still left on the ground there.
Full ahead.
Was able to pick it up.
Alright, fourth rush of the game. The components, we got the Aegis on Chrysalis, Scepter. Resolution's holding it for the moment. Nisha's got the cheese and Refresher Shard as well for the Conquer.
You just got to enable Chrysalis to go in and right-click. I think it's that simple. It's got the Abyssal. You want to try and end the game now? Yeah, I would say so. Lots of buybacks being expended. You find a pick off onto any of these cores and feel so confident, so Spirit, they're going to be holding themselves up inside the base. You know, they like to make these super aggressive moves when they feel like they have no right to, but time for it. Chert looks to join the rest of his team after fixing the bottom side. They know he's there. They wait out this 25 seconds to glyph.
It's such
Oh, they're
an
looking to try and
incredibly hard
bait.
defense.
Look at this. Look at this micro coming out from the Spectre. They're trying to get them to jump in onto it, but it's just the illusion. Not getting it.
Dyer's top tower.
Playing the Lotus Sword. They need Mira. It's really important with the team
Dyer's
fights.
top barracks has
Not gonna
fallen.
die to the TP on
Dyer's
Rupture.
structures are fortified.
Close enough. Oh, look at this. I believe they actually gave the
Dyer's
Scepter over
top
to Zayat,
barracks
so
are
now
under
he's just
attack.
borrowed up on the high ground. Oh my god! What are you
Dyer's
doing?
top barracks has fallen.
In a late game man like this, Nisha's even got a rapier queued up as well. We might not even need it though. Looks shot just shy. Mira's the only one with buyback on Team Spirit.
The one that they could have forward that little bit further, and they're just going to go down the same route. Secret to make the jump.
Instant Lincoln's one. Use the Rupture and the black hole as well for good measure. But there's the buyback. Being able to counter out the black hole. A lot of spells cast over the initial life, but how can they reset for round two? As Nisha jumps over the tree line, over to Collapse they go. A second round of the Stormcraft to get some distance away. They'll be able to kill off the Blood Seeker, but can they set up for round two? Black hole moment is into the middle they go, but there's the global once again, but it might not matter. It's Chrysalis stacking up the attack speed, bash up to bash. Things picked out for good measure. They've locked onto their target, and there might be no escape for the Spectre. And die back for your Toro, and now the rest of the team will be buried 6 feet under as they had to work for it secret. It'll take you 54 minutes to take this game too, but what an incredible victory for them.
And what an incredible performance by Chrysalis in particular. You give the man some of his comfort. I want to see the team getting around him. And yeah, instantly, Poppy walks over, makes sure to give him the fist bump. A bit of a cuddle. Come on, it's needed.